Wan, you are a buff dude. Who am I here with today?
You're with Sean Casey. I'm an MMA fighter. I train out of Algeo MMA in kickboxing in King of Prussia. I'm 0-2 in MMA, 1-0 in kickboxing, and yeah.
So Sean, man, you talked about your bouts, and I know you said you have a lot of short notice fights, and I just want to know, someone who's taken on amateur fights and started their career in 2 months, what made you want to step foot into the octagon?
Well, you know, for me, I've always wrestled, like throughout my young life. So I've always like kind of enjoyed that type of that sport, but I never really knew what it was that I wanted to do. And then I played a lot of the UFC games.
Effort, he continues to. Oh, he's got him hurt here. Oh, and just like that, the fight is over.
So that really got me into the sport, and then just friends telling me to get into it. So eventually I just hopped right into it, and then I absolutely loved it. And ever since then, I couldn't stop training, couldn't stop watching UFC, like all of that. I love the sport.
Wow, so it really just goes to show what friends can do for you, and you never know what you could pick up from just getting out there and meeting new people. That's awesome. All right, Sean, now we want to know, so since you've gotten into fighting so recently, we want to know too, other people out there, what's the scariest part about being an MMA fighter? Is it the weight cut? Is it the fights? Or is it the long training camps?
For me, the scariest part, of course, there's the thought of getting knocked out in front of all your friends, family. But for me, I've tried to enjoy every moment of it, because I know it's like something I'm gonna be looking back on in the future, and I'm gonna want to enjoy every moment now. But for the moment, the scariest part, I do have to say, is that like right before the fight, you know, you get those pre-fight nerves, you know, you're amped up, you like, just so much goes through your mind. Like that's when you're the most scared, and then for me, I get out in the octagon, all of it kind of goes away. I'm just there, you know.
All right, Sean, we want to know, who is your head coach? Who do you train with? And what piece of advice has really stuck in with you, not only throughout your MMA career, but also throughout your life?
So my coach is Bill Algeo, Senor Perfecto. He fought for the UFC in the featherweight division. And it's a piece of advice he told me, or I wouldn't say a piece of advice, I would say like something he always told me after each one of my fights. He always told me that I have heart, and it's something that you can't teach to no one. So that really stuck with me, and I live by it, and I just try to live up to it.
All right, next question, Sean. So forgetting about the water weight and cutting all the weight off, what do you say is the hardest part about your training camps when you go into them?
So I mean, I really only had one full fight camp. My last 2 fights were short notice, so, and I'm like, those last 2 fights, like going through all that, it's like you rush right to the end. It's like skipping right to the end. But you know, I've always felt ready during those because I'm always training. But you know, for having a full fight camp, all it is just like, you know, doing the same thing you do, just, you know, getting the right strength and conditioning in. Make sure you have like the right type of training, and you know, 1 week before the fight, that's when you start to cut the weight and you water load. You know, watch your diet a lot more. So that's when all happens.
And can you explain to me how some UFC fighters cut weight, and like Alex Pereira, they miraculously gained 20 pounds after they made the weight?
Yeah, that's all just like, they just have really good like plans in their diet, and post fight or post weigh-in, I guarantee you they're eating a bunch of carbs. So a bunch of carbs, water, you know, getting the right like amount of sodium, like all of that. I'm trying to work on doing that, and you know, I can see it starting to pay off already. Mm-hmm. So
what advantage does putting on so much weight after a weight cut do for a fighter?
I guess it depends. If it's MMA, you have that weight when they're like in the grappling exchanges. You have more power. Mm-hmm. But to me, it doesn't really mean anything unless it's like a really big difference, which isn't really going to happen very often. But for me, it doesn't matter. You know.
So are you saying in a way that skill matters a lot more in MMA than size necessarily?
Of course, yeah. I mean, if you have enough like will and like, you're just like want to win, like you're dedicated, like that weight is not going to mean anything. Nothing.
So, like you mentioned, you're 1-2 as a fighter, going through your amateur career. You've had your wins, you've had your losses. Now, what can you say about your losses, and how do they affect you as a fighter?
That's a great question because, without losses, winning doesn't seem as good. A lot of what I learned from my losses, like people will like tell you like, oh, you had like this advantage, or oh, you were short notice. Like, I don't like to focus on those things. I don't like to give myself excuses. But what I've learned from them is just to get better. There's nothing like losing. Like, that's as real as it gets. Like, losing is, you see your opponent winning, they get their interview after, they're sitting with their hands raised, like with their family all excited, and then I'm just there backstage, just thinking about what I gotta go back and work on. And
Yep.
I think loss is something great, and people don't look at it that way. Then I think you need to lose and kind of try to feel it out, try to learn from it. That's where you learn the most in loss.
So Sean, you won your bout, you're 1-2. We want to know, after losing your first fight and getting that other win, how great of a feeling was that?
Well, I didn't know I was fighting that fight until like a week ahead. So a lot of went through my mind. Like, I seen videos of this kid. I'm like, yeah, this kid might be good. But then going out there and just like absolutely putting it on him, just 1 week notice, like really just needed that boost of like, maybe like I am here. Like I'm better than I think I am. And having those wins like just really like puts you like, oh yeah, I want to win more. Like I want to win more. Like that's when like the wins start to overweigh the losses, and that's where you want to be right there.
And you're like, dang, man, I can see it in your mind. You're like, dang, I had that loss. All right, now I got all that weight on me. And once I get that win, it's all gonna get uplifted. Now I'm gonna know I'm on this right path.
Yeah,
and it
sure.
seems like it boosts confidence.
Yeah, it does feel like you have a lot of weight on your shoulders when you lose. It's like you let a lot of people down. And then getting that win is like everyone's like congratulating you, and then it really seems to like motivate other people too.
Yeah. An off-topic question too. How does your team's morale affect you guys as well? And do you guys have a strong brotherhood at Algeo MMA?
I mean, yeah, we all support each other. It's a good community. Like no one really feels like left out or anyone. Like no one's like going through loss on their own. Like everyone's here to help each other out, get better, and you can't be left alone there.
All right, now to wrap things up, Sean, we want to know lastly, for all the people out there that are into UFC, one of the most popular growing sports in the world, and want to do it but are intimidated by the gym, what's some recommendations you could say to them, given that you've fought 3 times in 2 months and stepped out of your shell?
If you're interested in the sport, then just hop right into it. Even if you don't want to go into a fight, I would say to everyone, at least have that feeling of one fight in your life. One amateur fight. The feelings you get are like no other. Like walking out, get your music, you got everything. You feel so loose and free, and it's just a night that you won't never forget. And I feel like everyone needs to feel that moment. And if you're interested in fighting, then just go right into it, because worst case scenario, you quit, and at least you gave it your all and you tried. That's all you got to give yourself.
And I like you even saying trying too, because I think a lot of people are scared in this day and age to just give something a whirl. You also started your journey too, and you're seeing wins, you're seeing losses. It might not go the way you want to, but you're still going at it, and that builds persistence, which I think builds great people.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
I like where your head is at, Sean. I think you're going to do great things in MMA. Appreciate you.
Hopefully we get this knockout. Come on, Sean. Come on, bring it home. Oh! Stop the fight! He's bleeding bad. He's bleeding bad. Oh my gosh. Come on. Come on, Sean. Easy. He's surviving. He's surviving. He's just trying to survive. Michael Chandler. Does not want to fight. Fight of the night. Ah! What did he say? What did he say? Let's go.
Round TKO, Sean Casey.
Wow.